Alright, so we're going to be talking about terrifying packs today, or 300 beam packs, and why they might actually be the best in the game. Now, I know that seems a bit far-fetched, but with some new information that I have, I think I can make a case for it. So let's go ahead and get into this. Now, something that I want to note, when I mean best, I'm trying to prove that 300 bean packs give the most new phobies. The reason I say that is because having more options, aka more new phobies, is probably the best things that you could have, specifically in a strategy game. It's super important, and it's because that every phobia has a weakness. If you have a phobia that exploits that weakness, even if they're not as inherently strong as the other, they're probably going to win. A good example is Thunder Rocks versus Hydra. Of course, Hydra is a common, but it's just a good example to prove that um, the phobies will end up countering each other. Some are just inherently good, but some have a very strong counter against another. So you have to keep that in mind. Now, we're going to be talking next about how bean packs might work. Now, we don't actually know. This is some new information that I have, but it's not, we don't know if it's confirmed. It's just a soft confirmation by one of the staff. They tried to get a confirmation by one of the developers, I think, but they haven't responded yet, so we don't actually know. So, basically, this is what he's saying here. Every scratch card in a pack has a set probability. So this kind of explains the on average you can expect to receive a new phobia from every pack, but it's not 100%. So by that logic, horrific packs have 3 scratch cards, so each one should have a 33.3333% chance to have a new phobia. However, because of that, terrifying packs actually have the same probabilities. Terrifying packs have 2 scratch cards, and 1.5 packs are the average for a new phobia in the info page, meaning that once again, 3 scratch cards on average will give you a new phobia, meaning that each scratch card on a terrifying pack or a 300 bean pack, same thing, has a 33.3333% chance of giving you a new phobia, which is the exact same as a horrifying pack. So what ends up happening is that with 600 beans, you can get 2 terrifying packs, which gives you 4 scratch cards with the same probability as a horrific pack, which gives you 3 scratch cards. These scratch cards have the same probability, and the horrific pack costs 200 more. So because they all have the same probability, the terrifying packs are actually a lot better. With dreadful packs, it's a bit more iffy because the scratch cards are a 50% chance, so you can't really compare them. But if you buy 1,800 beans worth of terrifying packs, you'll get 12 scratch cards with 33% chance, and that's comparing to a dreadful pack which gives you 4 scratch cards with a 50% chance. So obviously Dreadful packs lose here, but that's because they're supposed to give you higher rarity. It's not exactly the exact same thing. You can't really compare the two. It's just to prove that just because they're more expensive doesn't mean they're inherently better. Now, personally, Phobia Rarity is the least of my concerns, but I mean, I know people are going to ask anyway, so we're going to compare Horrific and Terrifying. Now, the biggest changes here are between the rare and ultra rare. They're doubled, they're more than doubled. With rares, it's a 6.6 buff, 6.6% buff, and for ultra rares, it's a 1% buff. It's not too much, but I think it's enough to make a teensy difference. There's a layer subactivity there, but I really don't think it matters that much because in the end of the day, common phobies are probably just as strong as ultra rare phobies. It really does just depend on the situation. Now the thing is that you're actually not losing out on fear. The last video that I made on bean packs, I was discussing how, actually no, my first video actually, the first video that I made on bean packs, I talked about how terrifying packs have a terrible fear to bean ratio. Well, you can actually offset that with packs of XP. Once again, we did the same thing with horrific packs and dreadful packs, and now we're doing it with horrific packs and terrifying packs. In fact, you could actually do the same thing with terrifying packs and dreadful packs, but we'll talk about that later. Now, we're going to assume that you got a new phobia in each terrifying pack and you bought 2 of them. The reason this matters is because you will get more fear and upgrade cards if you don't get a new phobia. So this is like the worst case scenario for terrifying packs. So you buy 2, which will give you 10,000 fear. If you buy a horrific pack, you normally get 21,000, but let's say you get unlucky and you don't get a new phobia. You'll get 36,300 instead. So now there's a 26,300 fear offset, but you still have 200 beans left. So you could buy 2 vats of XP, which will give you 30,400 XP, which actually means that you'll get 40,400 fear I keep saying fear and XP. They're swapped, sorry. They're the same thing. But you'll have that as a total. If you do the same thing with Dreadful packs and the offset is by 23,000, we're not going to assume that you don't get a new Phobie. I don't know what happened if you would, though. I'm assuming that you don't get enough. Yeah, I can check, but oh, I don't have Phobies open. Never mind. But I'm just going to assume that you don't because 4 cards with a 50% chance, that's barely going to happen. But if you do that, you can also cover that with 200 beans worth of fear. As you can see, the offset is only by 23,000, while the two vats of XP gives you 30,400. So, at the end of the day, you're losing out on upgrade cards and Phobie Rarity. Those tombs are not. Upgrade cards are important. Rarity isn't important at all. I don't know why people keep saying that is important. It's really not. A lot of common and uncommon phobies are really strong, like Cassowary and whatnot. Obviously, there are exceptions, but there are exceptions in ultra rares too, like Morty. Please buff Morty. It's so bad, but I don't think it's fair to say that ultra rare phobies are inherently better because they're not. Um, yeah. Anyway, um, you're losing on upgrade cards, which is actually pretty important. I didn't really do the math for that because, terrifying packs obviously lose. You can't buy upgrade cards inherently, but you do get more fear and you do get new phobies, which is a lot more important. Like I said before, having more options in a strategy game is one of the best things that you could have. Now, by the way, just keep in mind that this video might be outdated. A lot of my videos are because they use information that isn't exactly accurate anymore, or I know isn't accurate anymore. We don't know if this is how bean packs actually function. But if it is, then terrifying packs are the best. This is my case for it. Again, this is assuming that we're using the specific that they're using the specific method to determine how bean packs work. So yeah. I mean everything makes sense, everything lines up there, so yeah. But without further ado, actually I don't know why I said that because I'm gonna end the video. But yeah, I hope everyone had a nice day. I'm tired. It's 11 a.m. somehow. What the fuck? Alright, I'm gonna go play Valorant now.